Hello everybody, thank you for joining us. Today we're going to do a quick sketch of a T-Rex. We're going to do a little twist on it too. So I'm not exactly showing the full T-Rex, I'm doing the head because I want to do a little something interesting with it right after I have the head down. So what we're doing is, if you have your pencils like all set, we'll put in some framework. So a curve like that, and then an arc like that, another arc like that, curve and arc. Now there's like two ways to go about it. Either you could like put in two big ovals, one, two. This one's smaller than this, both in height and in length as well. Just a little bit smaller in length, but definitely less small in height. And you could just go and put two arcs like that, or you could just go line by line as I'm doing this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then going backwards here, 5, 6, 7, 8, that, and then 9. So now that doesn't look like a T-Rex yet, but what we're going to do is add in some key essential details, and this is where we have to now put in all those angles, the stretched skin, the cracks. And as you see that I'm going back and forth there to give him some feel of some warts and some wedges there in the skin. So that is the throat, and there's the skin folds. Right here, there's that stretch of skin. We'll get to the teeth in a second. I know that is probably the most fun part for a lot of people. And then right here, some more details, some bony protrusions right there in his skull. There's his eye socket. Again, protrusions of tightened skin, some lines going right along here. There's an indent there. And then we are going to put in a very small eye right there, put in some skin folds right there, a bulge right there. He has this stretched out nostril here, and then there's the folds and details around that. So kind of it's like shaping up, but here's the most fun and important part, of course, and that is his teeth. Now the T-Rex teeth, if you want to really have fun, you can have them going back and forth, shorter, longer here would be better, like in the front. But I'm trying my best that every tooth has a life of its own, and that's what really makes this more dynamic. Bit of the skin fold on the other side showing right there, and then we go with the teeth here again. I'm also working on a new custom character for my kid, and I am actually custom creating a toy for him, and he's called the T-Rex man or something. And here's the reptilian skin going right out. So we got the head of the T-Rex nailed. Now he has all these, like, you know, stumpy, like very short hands there, the limbs, just call them limbs because they're not really hands. They would be somewhere around those lines, but we are not doing those. And I'm just trying to do a little bit of a torso for T-Rex man. So right here is the general idea. Now in here you could add as many details as you wish, and for example you could go like that and add in scales, reptilian scales. Now the challenge of course is always, if you want to make it beautiful and very detailed, you should give each scale a life of its own. So if there's a light source coming right down from the top, let's say, we're going to, actually I'm going to shift gears and I'm going to put in inks so that we can see this a little better. So let us just grab pen. I mean, if you wish, you can just carry on with pencil. I'm going to see if I can do this with a marker from this point on. So light source coming from above, and I'm just going over the lines that I had put in, just trying to make it a little more scraggly as I'm going along. So skin folds like right there, teeth, so just putting in some inks. Alright, so I got the pen down for it. Now if we were to have a light source that's coming right from above, I would be shading in the areas that are immediately in shadow. So this, the nostril, right below the nostril, right around here, bit around here, right around there. There's our trusty tongue, and right, and then right under there. So just for some dramatic effect, I'm putting in darker tones right along there. We're trying to and I would perhaps put in a little bit here again. Since I have shifted to marker, I just decided that as we are going along here, and then I go with a thinner marker and just put in some crosshatch. I put in some skin. Now it might look like fur at times, but as long as you keep it minimal, if you're keeping this a one-tone drawing, as I am, like a black and white, so what you have to make sure is that we have some like scales like overlapping, crossing each other, and that will really make for the required effect. And then right around here, for example, you could do scales along the surface if you wish. Otherwise you could leave it clean and it would like still work. But if you want to add in all those details, you could go right along, put in all the scales as I had like done here, very light scales going upward, and I had crisscross them. And now we're doing this very quickly. Essentially it would be like each and every scale you would go try to give it a life of its own and move it along the surface. So if it's round, you're going around the nostril, you're going around like this, put in a bit there, you're coming down from the eye area like this and going around like that, and then having the scales come up from here and meet these ones and then fade out in the middle maybe, and have some crisscrossing scales there. So each and every detail like adds up. And right around here, we go all the way. Again, we're doing this very quickly. This is essentially a quick sketch, not a detailed drawing. And then of course, now that we have these darker shadows there, it will really pop when you have shadows going right through the scales. So you can put in some shadow in each and every scale to really make this work, but not like random shadows thrown here and there. They have to like go along the surface as the light and shadows should fall. So I'm like doing it randomly, but if it's coming from above, the scales will be highlighted at the bottom, and as they move toward here, they'll become darker on this side, and as they move toward here, they will be darker on the other side. So each and every scale you could highlight, but make sure that the tones on these scales are lighter than here. So lesser crosshatch coming there. I'm just darkening that, going in just to give it a little more life, putting in a little bit of tone in the stretched skin right there. So that is T-Rex, and as I had said that I plan to do a custom toy for my kid. So I'm doing a like sort of a T-Rex man, and he's going to have these shoulders, and you'll have this sort of this skin like going in. I'll try to do that with some epoxy, with some sculpting clay if I can, but I'm using a model of a T-Rex, cutting it up and then amalgamating it with a body type that'll be fitting. So as you see here that I've put down some details with a delt, and this could actually be a very fun idea for you as well if you wish to take a random figure, put in some details, and as you see it blends beautifully. Then I'm putting down the collar bone structure there, going into the chest, going into the delts, going into the shoulders, just putting in some shadow right there because he has this huge head now on top and it'll have huge shadows going. So there we have it. I made two things in one. It's a T-Rex, but it's also a T-Rex man. So thank you for watching. Please let us have your comments. And I'm just putting in some crosshatch as we end, just to make it blend a little better. Okay, so please stay tuned, do subscribe, keep in touch, have yourself a wonderful day.